What is happening, troopers, is me, Will, how we all doing today on this fine, hot day. It's a bit on the warm side, not going to lie. Hope you guys are doing well. So as you can see, it is just me today. I saw a bit of late notice and didn't really have a chance to sort it out, and Chloe can't join me this week because of she's working. So yeah. But it's me, and we're going to have a fun episode. So, yeah, if you're wondering what today's episode is going to be about, it's a bit of a weird one because I was a little bit like, what do I talk about by myself? So, I have decided this week we're going to talk more about Star Wars books or novels, so we say. Next week I might go into comics. That's a good one. So yeah, this week we're going to talk about books. I've got a couple myself, but there's one in particular that I'm sort of going to focus more on, and there is a reason for why I'm focusing on that one more, but I'll get into that in a bit. So, gonna start today's episode off with some news. Okay, so basically, the other day I had a message from Rory. He has decided he's not going to be coming back to the podcast. He just hasn't enjoyed it on his break, which, he hasn't missed it, so we say. So he's not going to be coming back to the podcast, which is a shame. But, we wish Rory I would wish Rory all the best. He was an integral part of the podcast becoming what it is today. He was a big part in getting the podcast going as well. So, it's a little bit sad that he doesn't enjoy it anymore and that he's not coming back. But Rory, if you listen to this or see this, best of luck with everything, mate. No hard feelings from me at all. So that's that. But then also with the departure of one host, we start a chapter with a new permanent host. So I am very proud to announce, I'm very excited to announce that Chloe will be joining me as the new permanent host on the podcast. So, I hope you guys will welcome her into the podcast family and into the 501st Com Chatter with open arms, like you welcomed me and Rory when we started this thing. She's very excited to get going. She's going to be posting on the socials as well, which is also going to help me out because I don't know if you guys have noticed, but when recently it comes to keeping you updated with what's going on, it's a little bit hard when it's just myself. So I've got to keep in charge of the 501st Twitter, the 501st TikTok, which is booming, by the way. Just want to say that we've now just got over 900 followers. You guys are amazing. Let's keep this podcast growing. I've also got to do the Instagram. There's so much that I've got to do. So it's going to be nice having someone to come in and, help me run the socials because I'm struggling a little bit. But yeah. So, yeah. Chloe's joining. Can't wait for her to join properly. So please give her a big welcome. So she's not here this week. I think due to work scheduling, she might not be available for the next couple of weeks, maybe. But I am gonna look at getting like some guests. I'm gonna reach out to a couple of you. And hopefully can get you on to join me for an episode or two because, I want to try and change it up and get as many of you listening as possible. So that's the aim. Now, what else was there? Yeah, so also there's a couple of you that I need to get back in touch with. Obviously, we arranged with a couple of people to come on as guests, and because of obviously celebration and the whole we're already taking a break, and I haven't been able to get it there. But now that Chloe's coming on permanently and that she's going to be helping me with the socials, I'm going to be I'm going to be able to reach out and message you guys again. So if you get a message from me like across over the weekend, that's, please keep an eye out for that, because I will be messaging you being like, fancy coming on? Let's do it. So there's a couple, so I'll reach out to you guys soon. Yeah. Also, we're looking at planning a very special Order 66 episode for our 66th episode. I know it's only 59 today, but that's so it's like a couple of weeks. But that's it really for news in terms of podcasts, what's going on, what's happening. So that's that. We've also got news-wise, what else was it? Don't know if I mentioned it. I might have with Chloe. I don't think we did, but they announced a couple of sort of another wave, shall we say, of Kenobi series Funko Pops. It's not just Kenobi series, but there was mainly Kenobi series. There was like battle damaged face Vader. There was Luke with the young Luke with the ship. There was the Grand Inquisitor. There was, I think, Fifth Brother. I think there was the yellow droid. I can't remember his name, but yeah, he's one of the new releases as well. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. There's a couple there. There's like Kenobi as well from Attack of the Clones in his Jedi Starfighter. There's Heir in an X-Wing, which I think is a bit odd. I think she should be in a A-Wing. There's a Battlefront 2 4 pack with like Grievous, battle damage Grievous, 3 variants of different clone troopers, and I think Fixer, from Republic Commandos, I'm not sure, but yeah, so there's that as well. Any other news in terms of Star Wars? Not that I can think of in terms of products or that, but the news that we are going to be talking about today is quite big, in my opinion. And the fact is that Dave Filoni's Star Wars movie is going to be called Heir to the Empire. Now, that says it all. I know the name was mentioned in the Ahsoka trailer, and obviously we're talking about Grand Admiral Thrawn. But if you didn't know, Heir to the Empire, sorry, I keep getting it wrong, Heir to the Empire, is a book series that was sort of very popular in the 90s with the Star Wars fandom. And that's what I'm mainly going to be talking about today. There is what else was I going to be talking about? Yeah, well, I was going to be talking about books anyway, but yeah, we're going to be focusing on the Heir to the Empire. I can't even bloody say it. What am I even doing? Heir to the Empire. Anyway, Heir to the Empire. Right. So yeah. So basically, it came out as a book series in, I believe it was 1991. Let me just check my facts, so I'm not giving you guys. Yes, so Heir to the Empire is the first book in the Throne trilogy by Timothy Zahn. It was published in 1991 and is set 5 years after the events of Return of the Jedi. So we're in that end of the original trilogy, leading up to the, well, still a long time, but leading up to the Force Awakens. But that was even before the prequels were made. So by the way, in case any of you watching this unsure, this is actually Legends. It's not canon. Chill, don't come at me. It's just a series, but obviously it's being adapted into the Filoni film. So we got basically it introduced Grand Admiral Thrawn, a character that obviously became canon in Rebels and such. So basically the story follows Grand Admiral Thrawn, who has taken control of the remnants of the Empire after the second Death Star got blown up, and it's basically him taking on the remnants. And while he's leading this remnant in a campaign against the New Republic, again, obviously we get introduced to them in The Force Awakens, but it's the New Republic with Luke, Han, and Leia. They're working to establish this New Republic and make it what would you say, a proper government without being a dictatorship. But as Thrawn closes in on the New Republic, the heroes band together to stop him and his plans for domination. Pretty standard stuff, really. It ended up being a trilogy by Timothy Zahn, which includes Heir to the Empire, Dark Force Rising, and The Last Command. Now, these books are widely considered through the fandom, like I mentioned a little bit earlier, as probably one of the best, if not the best, book series in terms of the Star Wars universe. So you've got Han, Leia, and Luke back. You've got the introduction of Thrawn. I can't even believe it. What's up, Ruru's here. Ruru, just in case you missed it, I see you just joined. Basically, this week we're going to be talking about Star Wars books, and mainly the Heir to the Empire trilogy, basically, and some other books, but mainly that. So that's good. Welcome for joining. We know you like it. So Heir to the Empire obviously was the first one in the trilogy, which was soon followed by Dark Force Rising and then The Last Command. But again, it's considered within the franchise, the fan base, as I just said, as one of the best books series within the Star Wars Legends canon. It got a lot of popularity within the early 90s within the Star Wars fan base, because obviously this was like the first thing that we had after the original trilogy, really, like content-wise. So that brought more interest again back into Star Wars. This story also introduced characters, well, like I said, Thrawn, Mara Jade, Talon Karrde, and they've become fan favorites, really. So it's not a bad series. I know a lot of people are looking forward to the what do you call it? Dave Filoni's movie. That's gonna. I'm assuming it's gonna incorporate aspects of the story. It's probably not gonna be down to the letter, like right to letter, because you're not gonna get. I don't think. Well, you're not gonna get Luke. You're not gonna get Leia. You're not gonna get Han. So I think you're going to replace those three with like Mandalorian, Ahsoka, Rebels, like, and I think that's going to be the like group, really, in my opinion. Rura has put the new ones in canon are way better, in my opinion. Yes. Well, I will mention those ones. The Thrawn trilogy, which was done by, I have it here. It was also done by Timothy Zahn again. Yeah. So that one is called Thrawn Alliances, and Thrawn Treason. I've read Thrawn and Thrawn Treason. I have them up in my collection. Good reads. No, I agree. I do like them, but the original one is also quite good. But yeah, we're just sort of talking about it because it ties in with Dave Filoni's film. But yeah, what would I rate the series as a whole? I'd probably give it a good 8.5. I'm not going to give like any spoilers away. I'm not going to read into it. I'm not going to give anything away, I promise. So yeah. Now, I know I've mentioned this book before, and I cannot not talk about it again. In my opinion, my all-time favorite Star Wars books is Death Troopers by Joe Schreiber in 2009. Something completely different take on Star Wars, added in that sort of horror zombie vibe with, just something very different for the franchise. And me personally, I quite liked it. Yeah. So that's that. So basically, if you haven't seen that episode, but you want to know what it's about, basically it follows a group of prisoners on an Imperial prison ship that come across a Star Destroyer, but there's no response, nothing going on, and then basically zombies in space. I don't want to give any more away because I don't want to ruin it, because it's very good. I also recommend, if you're going to watch this, listen to the audiobook version of it, because they add in the sounds in the background, and like just sound effects make it so much better. So for example, there's like a bit where in the background you'll hear the sound of like an Imperial like beep beep, like control monitor like making noise and flashing, and you hear like bangings in the background of like metal and stuff like that. Very well done, very good, definitely worth a listen and a watch. Did you know it also had a sort of a prequel? Well, it's classed as a prequel, but it's not like right at the start of it prequel. So basically, it's called Red Harvest, again by Joe Schreiber. It basically takes place. It was actually published in 2010, so it was published a year after Death Troopers. But it's set in the Old Republic era, thousands of years before the original trilogy. Basically, it takes place on the Sith Academy planet called Audacia Forstin. It follows a group of Sith students who become trapped on the planet after an outbreak of the mysterious violence turns the people into zombies. So basically, yeah, it's a prequel, same thing, horror, zombies. Yeah, very good. I haven't read it, but I've heard very good things about it. So I'm going to list off a couple of books here that I would probably recommend. So you got Heir to the Empire, you got Dark Force Rising, you got Last Command. Then you got the Darth Bane trilogy, which is Darth Bane, Path of Destruction, Darth Bane, Rule of Two, Darth Bane, Dynasty of Evil. Now, if you don't know who Darth Bane is the guy who created the Rule of Two for the Sith. These ones were done by Drew, I'm going to mess this name up, Karpshin. He done the trilogy for those ones. Obviously, Death Troopers and Red Harvest I've mentioned. You got Lost Stars and Bloodline by Claudia Gray. You've got, again, the new sort of Thrawn trilogy, Thrawn by Timothy Zahn again, Thrawn Alliances, Thrawn Treason, blah, blah, blah. You've got Alphabet Squadron by Alexandra Freed. You've got Shadowfall, again by Alexandra Freed. Victory's Price by Alexandra Freed. A New Dawn by John Jackson Miller. You've got Catalyst, a Rogue One novel by James Lucenio. Tarkin by James Lucenio again. And you got Lord of the Sith by Paul S. Kemp. Those ones are the ones that I've been recommended from people. So, some of them I can definitely tell you are good. Death Troopers, absolutely. The Thrawn trilogy, even though I haven't read Treason, yeah, I want to read it. But Thrawn, yeah. Also, the Aftermath trilogy as well. So you've got Aftermath, you've got Life Debt, and you've got Empires. And I think I can't remember that one. But yeah, that was also a good trilogy to read. Yeah, so I mean, when it comes to novels and books, I'm not the biggest reader because obviously you've got to find time to sit there and read a book or listen to an audiobook. And with today's life, I guess, with what I'm doing, it's very hard to find the time to just sit, listen. Yeah, it's long, and I want to get back into it. I know I do. I've got to do it more. I've got to get back into having a bit of time to myself and being like, right, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I'm going to work on this, I'm going to work on that, And at the minute, I've just mainly been working on getting more of a listeners and more group, more followers and that for the podcast, because at the end of the day, we're trying to grow. I'm trying to grow this, and yeah, we're getting there. Now, what else was it? Well, to be honest, that's really it I've got for the books. I mean, I didn't really know what I was going to be talking about this episode, so I feel like I didn't get enough time to properly prepare for the book. But yeah, I mean, if Heir to the Empire, the Dave Filoni film, is as good as what the original inspiration with the books, so we say, are, then I think it's going to be good. I mean, it's Dave Filoni. We love Dave Filoni. He's the man. Yeah. Another thing, I completed last week? No, week before. Anyway, well, within a week, I 100%ed Jedi Survivor. Thank you. That means I got everything. I went around, found everything. Got the platinum trophy. I even can take a picture of it to show you guys to prove I've got it. So yeah, I'm very proud of that. Very good game. Do I want there to be another one? Yes. Is there a story for there to be another one? Yes. It's just like that. Going on to last week's episode where we were talking about Lucas World, I have seen more adaptations of Lucas World, shall we say. It's got different names, it's got different bits, but it's like, it's a weird connection. It's like, it is, but it's not. But yeah, it's one of those things. I don't know if the one me and Chloe were looking at last week is real. I did make that very clear. So please don't be like, what are you doing? You said you were going there. It's like, if it is real, then I am going there. If it's not, I'm not going there because it's not real. So yeah, that's that one. I'm very sorry. I'm just trying to get out what I want to say today. So yeah, next week I'm probably going to talk about the comics. If there is a specific Star Wars comic you want me to talk about, I will. I will add in some like screen capture pages, maybe like a cool page from different ones. But if there is one that you want me to talk about, look at, let me know, and I will get on that and I will talk about it and look it up and see if it's one that I've read or one that I've got on my sort of list, shall we say. But yeah, so that's going to be that one. Can't wait for that. Not really else to talk about, really. Now, this is a bit of a weird episode, but again, as you can understand, I've been sorting out a lot of things. Now, yes, going to a question that Ruru asked me on Twitter. He asked if there's any Star Wars podcasts I'm actually listening to at the minute, even though we're doing one. I haven't listened to any recently, but the last one I listened to was Fly Casual. I think Roro will know that one. That's the one was the most recent one that I've listened to. I know I've probably got to give a lot more support for other podcasts, especially Star Wars ones, but it's just time. It's just finding the time to talk about or listen to it, But definitely, I am also looking at doing some collaborations with some other podcasts. So we'll do like crossover episodes, if that makes sense. So we'll do like 1 week I'll be on their podcast, 1 week they'll be on here. So yeah, that's something that I'm also working on, looking at. It's just time at the minute, My schedule work-wise, apart from like Thursdays, is very, shall we say, up in the air, so I don't get a lot of time to sort of plan when I'm going to be doing stuff or when I'm going to be able to organize things, And I've got my own like personal life to live as well. So yeah, that's that. Something that I have been looking at. Yes, that's the rules. Put Fly Casual Pod. is it an American pod? They use the Falcon cockpit canopy as if I'm not right. Yes, that is the one. Again, like I said, I haven't listened to it like recent, but that was the last one that I listened to. Quite a good podcast, actually. Quite like those guys. But yeah, so something I have been looking at. So obviously, in case you guys haven't been following on TikTok, we have a new, what should we say, character. So we got the Clone Trooper helmet. So we've got Will the Clone Trooper. He's getting up to some fun adventures. I'm having a blast making videos for him. Like, well, not for him, but like making videos with the helmet, with just having a laugh with it. And I feel it's given me almost like a confidence being able to have this and put it on and mess around. And so there will be more videos coming soon with Will the Clone Trooper. But as I was saying, so I have actually been looking at on Etsy for a couple of different Clone Trooper blasters. They look incredible. So they're obviously 3D printed, and yeah, I mean, if I get them, I can either put them on my wall, paint them, use them for cosplay. Obviously, I've just got to assemble them and paint them. So yeah, I'm probably going to be getting it. It's a DC-15 blaster and a DC-15A blaster rifle. So those are the two that I'm looking at the minute. Both very good price. Both, once like painted, look incredible, perfect for cosplaying. So yeah, I'm probably going to be getting these two at some point. So keep an eye out for more for more of this content to go with Will the Clone Trooper, because yeah, this guy, I'm having a laugh with it, And that's the thing, when you, obviously some of you don't have TikTok, some of you do, but one of the things that I like about TikTok, Rural has put DC-15A in whose shop? I'm just seeing if I've got if I actually saved the artist. I haven't got it saved yet, but I will have a little look and I'll let you know who it's by. But yeah, so yeah, but the thing, I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's TikTok, it's all that. The thing about TikTok is you can have a laugh and fun. And I've only started to come out of my shell a little bit in terms of being me, being more like, Will the Clone Trooper, having a laugh. I'm loving it. I'm just being myself more. Like, I don't worry about how I look with the helmet on, like, just enjoy making videos and having a laugh. And that's what I'm doing at the minute. I'm in the best place I've been in, like, forever, really. I'm in a good mindset. I'm in a good place. I've got very good personal life at the minute. Found that with someone, that's always helps, and to Rora's question quickly, yes, it is Etsy, so have a little look on there, because yeah, there is some good ones. But yeah, I'm having a great time, and it's helping the podcast grow as well by being more active. So like before Celebration, we were on well, the podcast was on just under 500 followers, and that was just before Celebration. It's just over, pretty sure, how long was it? Okay, so I'd say it's just been over a month since Celebration, and we're just over 900 followers on TikTok. All because since Celebration, I've been doing more content on it. I know, again, I'm saying about it's very varied in terms of what there's a lot of 501st stuff, a lot of jokey, sketchy stuff, like comedy. But, at the end of the day, it's fun. I'm having a laugh. I'm loving doing the podcast every week. I'm going to be doing it for as long as I can. I'm looking forward to meeting more of you guys and getting more of you on and joining us. It's going to be fun. And yeah, we're just looking, I'm looking to get it as good as I can get it, as best as we can, and yeah, we're going to have fun. So I'm going to go on to Trooper of the Week. Now, this person, I gotta say, when I saw this, I was completely blown away. So I'm not just going to talk about one bit. I'm going to talk about a couple of pieces that they've done. So they go by the name called Upcycled Vintage Art. Okay. Now, I just found them today. And the video that came up, basically, I'll tell you a little bit about backstory. So what they do. So they repair and alter classic paintings. So you'll have a mountain, beautiful painting. And in the video that I've seen, she's basically sketched the outline of a Star Destroyer onto the painting, and then doing a sort of a time lapse sped up, has painted the more detailed trees and more green on it. So basically, when you look at the painting, it looks like the Star Destroyer has, I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's basically the Star Destroyer has crashed into the mountainside, and it's just over time being decayed and all that. It's incredible. I'm gutted that I've only found them out because on May the 4th they were doing the print drop on Etsy, and let me tell you, I would have bought all of these prints because they're so good. I'm definitely going to get in touch with these guys and give them a little shout out because it's incredible. Just looking at how good at art they are. Now, I don't have any talent in terms of artwork at all. Chloe's the artist one out of the two of us. She's got her paintings and they're incredible. And yeah, she's doing me an incredible Darth Revan, and I cannot wait to show it off because it's incredible. But yeah, if you go check them out, they've done some very cool ones, again, a sort of a mountain cloudy side with she sketched a couple of 80s into the picture, and then obviously filled in all the details and the coloring, and makes it look very realistic. I don't even know where you begin to do something like this. It's just beautiful. It's basically could you imagine having a classic painting or print in your room and then having elements of Star Wars in these classic prints or paintings? Wow. But yeah, so they had a May 4th drop, and I am gutted because if I'd found out about these guys, about this earlier, I genuinely would have got the prints because they're incredible. So there's one here with like a forest thing, and they've painted the Death Star in the background. You've got the Mona Lisa picture, but Bo-Katan's helmet over the top of it. Some good ones of like TIE fighters flying by, or the walkers in the background. Just so many. Like, I don't know where to begin. Now, when it comes to art, anyone who does it, you get my respect, because you've clearly got something that I could never do ever. So yeah, if any of you guys do art or want to show off your artwork for the podcast, stuff like that, obviously Emily, friend of the podcast, she's just done our new cover and our new logo. It's very modern, very good look, makes it more standing out. And yeah, I think it's helping us look and come across like we want to, which I think's the way you want to go. But yeah, so that's my troop of the week. So it is, let me just tell you again so you don't forget, Upcycled Vintage Art. Go check them out. They are on Instagram and they are on Etsy, but they don't have any of their prints available anymore because they've sold out. But because they only did it on May the 4th, so you might have to wait another year. But please keep an eye out for these guys because, wow, just yeah. So there's that. Now normally, normally we do one troop of the week, which was one trooper each. But today I'm going to give two. Oh, there's going to be two because now I can't give a shout out to this exact trooper because I don't know who this person is. But if you know who this trooper is, please let me know because I want to give them a shout out. So obviously, the podcast is called the 501st Com Chatter. But the podcast Com Chatter, the 501st Com Chatter, is based after the Clone Legion. That's what we're, There is the real 501st Legion, which is obviously, if you're a Star Wars fan, you know who they are. Now, recently I watched the UK Garrison documentary on Netflix about the 501st Legion and all the good work that they do within charities, fundraising. These guys are the real troopers of the week. These guys go out there every week or whenever they can and help put smiles on children's faces that really need it. And other people, not just children, but, these guys, if you didn't go to Celebration, you didn't see any of the 501st, troopers or that, please go check them out. They're not just troopers, but they're officers and as well. Rural, who joins us a lot. he was one of them. I don't know if you still won, Rural, but what you've done is incredible anyway. But yeah, back to my thing. So I saw a post today. A young kid, I don't know his name. He basically, he died. And he was a massive Star Wars fan and a massive Clone Wars fan. And the UK Garrison 501st, they helped give him the send-off that he would have wanted. And I'm looking at a photo now, and this photo just, for me, it's just gets me in the heart. It's his favorite character in the Clone Wars was Captain Rex. So there's a cosplayer or someone in a very detailed looking, accurate Captain Rex armor, which is, I don't know if I saw this guy. I might have seen it at Celebration. I don't know if he was there, but this Captain Rex is incredible. But it's the fact that he was this kid's favorite character from Clone Wars, and he's leading the Hearst in the line. And for me, it was just a real hits you in the feels, because that's a parent's kid that obviously is taken way too soon. But the guys from the UK Garrison showed up to help give the best send-off they could. And the fact that this Captain Rex trooper has led this procession is get a little bit emotional looking at it a bit. But for me, that guy is that Captain Rex is the real trooper. All the 501st Legion, cosplaying group and that, they are the real troopers of the week each week, because they're out there doing an incredible job. And if any of you know who this Captain Rex is, please let me know, so I can give him a proper shout out on the next week's episode, or an episode a couple of times, because I really want to just tell him, how good of a job and how incredible his work, being there for the family and that, just, yeah. So if you know the Rex who led the procession for this kid's funeral, please let me know, because I might try and get him on, at least, because incredible, and just what he done is amazing. So sorry that got a little bit deep, but I wanted to mention it. Rora's also just put, not currently, I do want to get my armor back though. That would be something I really hope you do, Rora. If you do, please make sure to come back on the podcast with me and show it off, because I'd love to see it, and I'm sure the listeners would as well, because who doesn't want to see that? But yes, so it isn't confirmed yet, but it is in the works for the 66th order episode. Sorry, so episode 66 it's obviously going to be called Execute Order 66. I'm in the process of speaking to a couple of 501st Legion troopers. And we're going to look at maybe having a bit of a, shall we say, a bumper episode. Get quite a few 501st guys on. Doesn't matter what garrison or that. Just get them on. Talk about their experiences. Talk about what's it like being in the actual 501st. So that is something I'm currently working on. Need to message a couple more people. But yeah, it's definitely something you might want to keep an eye out for. So episode 59 now. There's going to be some good episodes before that. But yeah, episode 66 is probably one you're going to want to keep an eye on, because yeah, Raw, that sounds fun. Yeah, it does sound fun, mate. I think that's one that you will personally find quite enjoyable, being able to listen, talk. Maybe we'll get you on as well. We'll get you in from across the pond. So, I'll probably send you a message in a little bit and see if you want to join us. Yeah, so that is it for today's episode. Again, I know it's a little bit shorter, but as you guys can understand, when it's just me, it's kind of hard to keep talking, especially with like today's episode being not very, shall I say, well planned, because it was I was struggling a bit with what to decide. But yeah, so yeah, that's it from me. Again, just a little recap. I know Raw wasn't here, and I said it at the start of the show, but Rory has left the podcast. He will not be coming back because he's doing his own thing now. We wish him the best. And Chloe is going to be my new permanent host. And yeah, please, everyone, give her a warm welcome when she does finally come on the show again. So yeah, keep an eye out on the socials as well, because again, she's going to be doing some videos as well. So, and posts. So that's it from me, guys. I hope you have enjoyed today's episode. Again, bit of a weird one, but not all of them are as you can get. Whatever. So that's it from me, guys. I will see you next week. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, wonderful week. And yeah, may the force be with you.